Hi, Paul here. Today we're going to take a look at using the crop tool so that you can resize your images for printing or for placing on the web. So how do we go about it? Well, the first thing we do is we bring up our color corrected image up on the screen. And then if we go and take a look at our toolbar, we can go down to this tool here called the crop tool. If you click on that and activate it, what you'll see at the top here are the controls for the tool. So what we want to do first of all is bring up the ruler. So Control R or Command R if you're on a Macintosh, this will bring up the ruler here, and you may have it set to pixels, for instance. So if I was to type in a standard photographic size such as 10 by 8 height, you'll see that it actually gives the units of measurement as pixels, which is no good for what we want, because 10 by 8 pixels would give a very small image. So what we should do here, and a quick way of doing it, so instead of going through the preferences, and where are they? They are in here, Photoshop, preferences and units and rulers. A quick way for us to change that is to simply right click in the ruler and we'll choose inches, and your ruler will change. So what will happen now is if I type in my size, I want an image say 10 inches wide by 8 inches high, you'll see that the units of measurement change to inches. And for printing we must use a resolution of 300. But we need to make sure also that it's not pixels per centimetre, but pixels per inch. Okay, so we've got our width and height set, our resolution set. So if I'm to click and drag out a box, you'll see that this box comes up. It has some guides in it, which is known as the rule of thirds. You'll see that here, crop guide overlay, rule of thirds. And what I can do is I can drag it around to where I want. I can also resize it to what I want. And when I initiate the change, this image will be only 10 by 8 inches in height and width. So most people will take a photograph, and when they go to crop it, they'll place their subject in the center here. They'll size their image the way they want, because people tend to take photographs where things are centered as well. Okay, and they'll simply hit enter and they have a 10 by 8 image or an 11 by 14 image or whatever size they want, and with their subject matter in the center there, and the image is fine, but it's visually it can be cropped better. Let me just undo that and explain. So I'm going for a portrait shot, so what I can do is I can click and drag out my box, and what I want to do is see where these guides cross in sections here. What I want to do to make it a bit more visually interesting and give it a bit more impact is I'm going to place the boat around in this area here where these lines cross. Okay, and then I can resize it a bit more. I can drag it around and get it to where I want it. I can have it down there, or I can place it up here a bit if I want to include some rock. But either way, once I hit enter to initiate that change, I will get a much superior visual image. It has a lot more sort of impact, and it adds more dynamicism to the image because I'm leaving room for the boat to travel through the water from the right to the left. Let me undo that with Control Z, and I'll go for a portrait style shot, so 8 inches by 10 inches. And do the same thing, just drag out a box and place that down there, this time just using water. I don't want any rock in the image at all. And I'll hit enter. And once again I've left room on this side of the image because the boat is travelling from the right to the left. So room for the boat to move through the image. And a lot more sort of interesting detail. So you can see this wash of water down here which adds texture to the image. The boat is obviously moving through the water from the right to the left, so I'm leaving that visual cue in there. Some deeper water up here as well. And once you're happy with your image, save it. But a word of advice, never overwrite your original images. You may want to crop them and use them for something else. So save whatever images that you've changed into a separate folder. But I'm going to undo that right now. So as I said, if I wanted to crop an image for print, I print at 300 pixels per inch. But if, say, I want to do it for images that I want to use on the internet, what I need to do is change the resolution down to 72. I might change these sizes as well. 5 by 4 inches, which is another standard photographic size. And it's a landscape shot because I've made the width longer than the height. Hit enter and you can see how small the image becomes. Now let me zoom up on this and I can show you what the resolution change does to it. So I'm just going to zoom up using Control Plus, and you can see now, because I've used such a low resolution, that I can't really zoom beyond this size here. If I go any further, the image starts to become quite pixelated, to the point where I'm seeing individual pixels now. Now if I was to upsize that image from what it was now, the quality of the image wouldn't be very good. So it's important that you choose the right resolution for the final application of your image. Hope this helps. Bye.